my question to you guys is, what do you guys know about technology? As in, today we have modern technology nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Wi-Fi, laptops, podcasts. This wire's hanging out. Let me fix that. We have technology nowadays, but do you guys ever think that there was... Okay, let me not go all over the place.
Technology back in the
So pyramids, how were the pyramids built, right? We kind of touched on that lightly before
UFOs.
the pod, and UFOs, aliens. Do we think that there was a more advanced civilization that built the pyramids, and then things happened around the world that ended up leading to like a new start?
Mm.
Noah's Ark, the flood, the meteors that hit the dinosaurs, all that, whatever way you want to go down. But because the pyramids are so unexplained, there's theories that there was advanced technology that we don't have access to, or that we never did because there's different branches of technology. As in, they went down a different line of technology. As in, like, we get our technology from what's our technology made out of nowadays? I don't even have that answer, honestly. Like, what we started off with light bulbs, right? Electricity, all that went down one route, and now we have Wi-Fi and everything like that. But what if back then there was a different type of technology that they had gone down because they never invented electricity? What if they mixed, this probably doesn't make sense, but they probably mixed like algae and some other stuff, and that turned into something, then you heat it at a certain degrees, and that was able to power something. Because now that we're so advanced in our own technology, there's no point of exploring a different path of technology that can start from the ground up, because we're so advanced. There's no point of looking back and trying to find a new source of technology in a way. That's kind of what I was thinking about. But people say that that's how the pyramids could have been built, or a different line of technology, because we can't comprehend how the pyramids were built, because the structure, the shape, that they were aligned with with
Orion's belt.
yeah, that they're aligned with a lot of stuff like that. So in reality, it's like, is there a different untapped branch of technology that us modern civilization haven't tapped into because we've advanced so far in this line of technology? That's what I was bringing up.
Well, I think in the pyramids they have
It's a power source over there.
well, no, what are they called? Scriptures? Like the writings on the wall?
Oh, yeah.
And some of them have like unknown objects that are in the air. So it's like, okay, maybe they did have, a higher being or something from another world help them. We
Could
don't
be.
know.
Yeah.
Because in their writings or in their drawings or whatever they have,
They do depict, yeah.
yeah, there are images of like almost like UFO looking things or an airplane looking thing. And how is there going to be airplanes or stuff that's like flying in the air when it's like way back when? So
That's true, actually.
Is that hieroglyphics?
There we go, that's
there
the
you
word.
go. I couldn't
Yeah.
think of the right word.
Yeah.
Hieroglyphics.
You know how America, when we got to the moon, we put a flag
Did we
on
get
the
to the
moon?
moon?
That's the thing.
Did
Did
we
we?
get to the moon?
I watched another guy explain it, and he was like, if that couldn't have been the first time we got to the moon, you know what I mean? Because it's such a far distance, and like calculating everything to get to the moon, his theory was that we had already been there.
Oh.
And we were revisiting. But as far as the flag goes, what if the pyramids are the way that the aliens marked our planet? And we're like,
Oh.
we discovered a planet.
And they
Here's,
left the pyramids behind, and ours is a little flag on the moon.
yeah.
Actually like that.
But okay, what talks about aliens?
Mexicans were extraterrestrial.
Extraterrestrials.
Okay.
So say they are real.
Mhm.
Well, actually, do you believe in extraterrestrials?
Biblically, yes, because that represents angels. But as in little...
Wait, angels?
They're not from the earth.
True.
Yeah, but that
extraterrestrial
doesn't
means
make them angels, though.
But the definition of extraterrestrial, I believe, means it's not from this planet. And
Right.
angels aren't from this planet. They're from heaven. So they
So
classify...
you're saying angels are...
Technically and logically speaking, when you're being very punctual about like, oh, what classifies as this? If you look at the description of extraterrestrial, I believe it's something that's not from this planet, and that angels are from heaven, so they're not from the planet. So they technically classify as extraterrestrial beings, or however you say it. Pretty sure, right?
Technically, yeah.
But that's just taking like a definition literal that way. They're angels, yeah, they're angels. But then I wouldn't call them, oh, they're aliens, but they classify as extraterrestrial.
Mm.
Is that extraterrestrial? Is that how it's said?
Yeah.
Feels like I'm saying it wrong. I don't know why.
Yep.
But
That's right. Yeah. I mean, do you want to continue? What about the
Did you-
aliens that are like trending right now? Do you believe that there are
wait, which aliens
beings
are-
from, I don't know, other planets that
Oh.
like UFOs? There's been that sighting in Florida, or all these like
Oh yeah,
conspiracies.
Or no,
Yeah,
the mall
going.
in the Mexico one,
Mhm.
that one. Do I believe in those?
Wait, sorry. Let me.
Because
go
it feels
back
like you
to-
still had more to ask. That's why.
Well, now that you mentioned, so you said that. You kind of said angels for
Yeah.
extraterrestrials. What if there are extraterrestrials and they have healing powers? Wouldn't that make us look up to them as a god?
As in technology, or as in, hey, I touch you and you're healed.
Right.
Wait, which one? As in, like they
The
have healing
second one.
powers. As I touch you, you're healed.
hmm Because then that would bring up a lot of, like, not, I guess, confliction.
See, okay, let me explain kind of where, as a Christian, as a follower of Christ.
Well, actually, okay, let me back up too. As a follower of Christ, can
Yeah.
you believe in extraterrestrials?
Aliens, right?
Right.
As in, yeah.
Because
And
they're
let-
higher beings
yeah.
that are a lot smarter than us. I mean, that's how we depict
Yeah.
them. They're a lot smarter than
More
us. They're
advanced than
coming,
us.
yeah, they're more advanced than us. If they're coming from another planet, they have to have a lot more technology than we do.
So I'm not gonna give you a yes or no. I'm just gonna explain how I stand because I don't have an answer because I don't know if I believe or not. I think I've seen something. I saw something out in the sky. It was like at 2 a.m. I was doing my jump rope to my front lawn when I was losing weight. My first time I was losing weight, and I saw something. I have a video on my Snapchat too if I can find it. It's very like I'll say pixelated, but you could see a sort of like spiraling lights very very far out the distance. It's not like a plane, but it was like these 3 lines that were in sync that were going like that in circles. It wasn't a drone because it was too high up to be a drone. I don't think nobody has a drone here in Stockton, where I live, besides me at that time. But as a follower of Christ, if I believe in aliens or not, it's weird because in the Bible it does say Jesus or God has his secrets. It says like God has his secrets. Okay, like what if God's secrets are? But then it also says that God's secrets are also revealed to us in the New Testament. Or whatnot. But God's secrets are, we don't know because they're secrets. That term, he has secrets, is like, somebody could say, oh, God has his secrets, but he only shares half the secrets. What if his other secrets are he's been working on other universes or other planets? Because you know how big our universe is, our, what do you call it? Galaxy? What's the big, everything?
The Big Bang.
The big, like, when you see all the solar systems, all the galaxies out there, when you see all that, it's like, we really think, like, there's no other lives? There's no other life forms? Like, even if it's a plant life form, even if it's a bug life form, what if God took time to create other beings? Because God is a creator. When does a creator finish creating? You know? Like, that's how I see it. So, it's like, it doesn't say anything in the Bible about little green aliens or anything like that. It talks about angels and extraterrestrials.
Well, I mean, and it makes sense for that to be true. But then
For what to be true.
for there to be extraterrestrial life.
Yeah.
Mm.
As in, legit, like, just out of logic, as in,
Because we're just, if you
we're a speck
put
of
it
dust.
all into perspective, we're just a tiny old dot.
Huh.
Literally just a dot. And we can't just be the only
Yeah.
life form that's out there. There has to be something else out there. Which is very like
It's really scary if we're the only thing here alone in this world, this life. It's also very terrifying if we're not.
right, but the Bible only speaks on life on earth, correct?
But what was it? Basic instructions before leaving Earth. What if the Bible was only meant for Earth? Or there's different versions of Bibles in other galaxies that God left them.
Well,
Because-
do you think they see
I'm just
the same
I'm,
God?
I'm just spitballing right now because God is a creator, and again, He creates things. He creates
Yeah.
life. He created all the animals, all the insects. He has different little. It's like the animal kingdom, right? There's the humans, or what we classify as the mammals. But when God created all the animals and He created humans, He has different divisions. He has the sea life, the animal life, the whatever. And then we have humans, right? We wouldn't think God wouldn't do that with galaxies. Like, oh, we have this branch of beings on Earth and this milk in this galaxy. We don't have different life forms on other galaxies and stuff like that.
Hold on. So really quick. So
Oh, you're getting excited.
I know, you
So-
said the questions.
on Earth,
Yeah.
we had Jesus in
Mhm.
human form, or
Mhm.
right. So do you think the aliens had their own version?
It's a legit
I mean,
question
makes
if
sense.
you think about the big spectrum of it.
Right. So would theirs be considered
Yeah.
Trinity?
Do Christians believe in aliens?
I
I don't know. That's
I've asked my dad, and he's always says no. But then I always talk to him like, but Dad, the Bible says God has these secrets. I haven't told him about I haven't told him this part because I just recently looked at it from this perspective. If God's a creator and He creates, do you think He's only just create one thing? He didn't just create one animal. He created a whole plethora of sea animals, insects, everything like that. He has a whole ecosystem that thrives off each other. Same thing with us. Do you think He's only going to really create one Earth that only sustains that's the one life? You don't think there's going to be other ones out there that He could have created?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. And I think, my question behind that is okay, so if Christians don't believe in aliens, is that just credible evidence to how selfish Christians in humanity are? Because if what you're saying is yes, we are a speck of dust, right? And if there are these other planets and different galaxies, the universe, and with how big space is, right? Why don't Christians believe in aliens then? Because
Well, I guess
does that make us selfish? Because
Ooh,
I've never
no,
ask that
because-
question.
Because they're going to open
Because-
up a lot of stuff.
see, I don't. It's hard because I'm gonna play devil's
Yeah, go ahead.
advocate
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
because
It's good to do that.
for aliens there isn't really any proof
That we exist?
that aliens exist.
Mm.
But is there really any proof that God exists?
Mhm.
Right?
Well, I mean, I would say the Bible is proof that God exists because it's history in that way.
Okay, well then there's technically proof of
That aliens exist in
Right.
the way where you have your in Mexico little mummies that they release, little 2-3 foot
I don't
whatever
know
little
about those guys.
little fun sized ones or whatever.
They're dinosaurs. Little baby dinosaurs.
It's just hard nowadays to determine what stuff is, if it's real or not, because they said was it Joe Rogan? I don't know who it was, but after cell phones got better, we stopped seeing all these grainy footage of UFOs, and you can rarely see them anymore. He was talking about something along the lines of
I think I know what you're talking about.
that they
It's
were
so
more
hard.
aware. No?
Yeah, well, it's so hard not to have proof of some of these things because of how everybody has technology, right? Everyone's on the
Yeah.
phone. Everyone's
yeah,
posting
you're
stories.
literally out and you see something, you're gonna just
Yeah,
But-
go up, or you're already recording.
Right.
For the most part.
Then again, back then, maybe the reason why UFOs aren't recorded anymore as much is because back then nobody had their smartphones. Nowadays, we're always looking down and we're never looking up. Because
Yeah.
the attention to beauty was in the sky. The birds going by, a nice sunrise, a nice sunset, oh, the moon. Nowadays, we're always neck down, not neck up, so maybe they are still there.
I feel like I'm opposite though.
As
I
in?
feel like there's some people that are, I don't know, because I'm always looking up. I'm super there's times where I'm actually looking for UFOs. Not like that, but I'm
UFO
looking up
hunter?
and I'm like,
You see
okay,
what-
let
you
me
see
see
the
if I can
sky.
see anything.
Mm.
Yeah.
Or you ever look up into the sky and you try to find satilates?
Mm-hmm.
No,
Yeah.
actually, I've
Yeah.
done that before.
Yeah,
Maybe
and
that's
it's
what I saw.
literally
Could you
like
see satellites from
yeah,
Yeah,
you can.
you
I didn't
can.
know that.
The beeps that are really slow, the flashlights.
They're not flashing lights,
What
but
are they?
that's probably like an airplane. But no,
No, you can see them sometimes, right?
dude,
I know what an
wait,
airplane
is
have you seen Starlink's satellites? And it's like a whole, it almost looks like a snake of stars.
What?
Yeah, because it's a whole bunch of satellites, so it's like a whole bunch
they're
of
all connected?
and it's just like this
a little train?
line that's going across the sky, and you're like, what the heck is that? And it's Elon Musk's Starlink.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
But anyways, back onto the topic of
Brian.
satellites. They're really, really small. They look like almost like a star, and it's just going really smooth across the surface. I literally have an app for it, because
The Constellation app's pretty cool.
It's called
I barely
Skyguide,
dabble with space stuff.
Mm.
and it has cool music. Oh,
Copyright, bro.
Well, my thing too is okay, cool. So if our technology
dope.
is getting better, do you think why we don't get clear images or videos of aliens is because their technology is getting better. You know, like how
You're talking about like
EMPs.
the aliens?
Yeah, like what if they
Oh.
have any like some sort of technology that like disrupts our cameras or something? Could be a possibility too.
Maybe they became more aware, but they
Yeah.
want to remain hidden. But they saw because if they have the technology to travel, to do all this stuff, they should have the technology to detect what technology that we have without us knowing. And if they realize like, oh, they're able to capture us on footage now to study us, they want to remain less, I guess, more low key because they see how we mess up each other, as in World War One, II, all that. They say, okay, if these people find out that we actually exist, we don't want them to become a bigger threat because they're tiny right now. But if they find out that we exist, their technology gets better. They're gonna start shooting us down. They're gonna start, So it's better to kind of remain as that like conspiracy of UFOs rather than being like hard evidence.
Yeah.
In their terms, if us as humans were watching a lesser life, we would try to stay maybe hidden, so we could just watch them as entertainment, develop, see what they do. But if we risk exposure giving them technology down, we also risk what are they going to do with that technology to us because we see them killing each other down at the bottom already. Because I'm using that as like all the wars that got on.
So do you think they come and visit us to see
To
how we're
spectate.
doing as a civilization?
Yeah, like entertainment almost. I mean, sometimes when like you guys ever get on YouTube, you watch wildlife, right? Here and there. Oh, the cheetah's hunting this or the lion's hunting this. And you have all your whole
TikTok.
narrator going on. You do that, right? You're observing into their life
Right.
form.
Yeah, it could be true.
All life beings probably do that, and we're probably somebody else's entertainment from them watching us. Oh, how's the war going? Oh, they're about to start the third one. Oh,
My dad would love this topic. My dad is obsessed with aliens, bro. Because we lived at an old farm in Oregon, like a ranch.
Oh,
like
bro, you-
500 acres. What's so different about living there compared to here is that because of all the lights that are in the city, you can't see the stars or the sky very well. But
Yeah,
in
light
Oregon,
pollution.
it's like, dude, you can see everything and it lights up everything. So
Yeah,
like,
I'm pretty sure you can see like the Milky Ways.
yeah, everything. And my dad was so obsessed with aliens, and he, dude, watch what was it? A sci
ancient aliens.
Ancient aliens.
Ancient
yeah.
aliens. Yes, it was,
I used
dude.
to watch it with that crazy looking guy.
Yeah.
How's
It's
he
one
doing?
thing I always ask my dad when I go home. I'm like, so how's the alien hunting going? He's like, I just watched this, and I'm like, cool, good for you.
Yeah, I used to be like a really big
Alien?
alien like enthusiast
Uh-huh.
too. Which
Used
I still
to.
kind of am.
What happened?
I still kind of am.
Oh.
I just don't really speak on it
Why not?
as much now. I haven't really. I'm not into it as much as I used to be. Yeah. And I'm not really out, like, I guess at night, really looking up in the sky.
Start having
as
our
much as I
podcast
used to.
outside now.
Yeah.
The camera could keep up with the light, so.
We're coming at Area 51.
Area 51.
Dude,
Yeah.
you know what?
We're gonna
Talking
go.
about Area 51, I think there's a video on like YouTube of I believe he was an engineer that worked for the military.
Bob Lazar?
Actually, I don't even know if it's the military, but he was like one of the government agents, I guess you can say. And he came out and said that they've got a spacecraft and they're reverse engineering it, but they still don't have no idea how it works because it's like that advanced. So I guess it's like
But that is Bob Lazar, I'm pretty sure that's what you're talking
Bob Lazar. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I think it is Bob
about.
Lazar.
I've as much as you're saying, I've also had my amount of history where I
Fair share
dove
of-
into
yeah.
alien stuff, listened to a bunch of podcasts, did all my own research, all that stuff like that. So
You know what? I think he was on Joe Rogan.
he was.
Yeah.
It was Bob Lazar, Joe Rogan, and another person.
And you're right.
And then there was a few more other episodes where they referenced him a lot, or I think there was also an episode where he came on by himself too. But there's a lot of things. He's talked about how like the spacecraft, like there was a door frame. He's talked about some door frame that was very like hard for a human to understand because the way it was framed. I don't know. I'm not gonna confuse anybody, but it's a really good listen. If you haven't listened to it, I'll send it to you if I can find
Send
it.
it to me.
Yeah.
Send it to your dad.
Yeah, my dad will love it.
Dude, I could get him a whole bunch of stuff out. Bring him on the pod one day.
I know, bro.
Yeah.
He'll go in. He's so funny.
FaceTime him right now. No.
Like, it's a joke in my family to this point where they're just like, he's a believer. He believes.
If you had a chance to get abducted, would you?
Is this question where if if a group of aliens took you away to go show you the rest of the universe and everything like that, but you know you come back, you go for 10 minutes, but it's been 20 years on Earth.
Right.
That would I?
See, but then you'd be gone for 10 minutes, but in Earth years it's 20 years.
Yeah.
But you'd come back the same age.
Same age,
but
and everything
everybody
else,
else
20 years.
around you age.
Personally, like, I don't think I would. Like, it's tempting,
I would.
but like, I don't know. I wouldn't. I feel like I could just enjoy the life that I have here because all my loved ones and everything like that. 20 years, come back and like, parents could be dead, girlfriend moved on, whatever the case is. It's like,
Oh yeah. I didn't think about that.
I'm thinking more about rather unlocking new knowledge.
Okay, what if you were single?
Yeah.
You did?
In a heartbeat.
I mean, I would in a heartbeat if I was single.
Dang, so it's just your girl holding you back.
Shout out. GF.
He's blushing right now.
Well, because she might listen to this. Oh, God.
He chose you over the universe. That's crazy. That's the
Literally.
kind of love we need.
No, but in reality, it's like, it's tempting to say yeah, but it's like, what do you do with that knowledge now?
You could write a book.
Then you're a weirdo.
You could start a
That
podcast.
part, then you become like that crazy lunatic. I mean, then again, who knows if somebody has actually gone through that?
Yeah.
But
What do you think about that? Like, you know how people who come up with like all these conspiracies or are considered crazy?
Well, I guess like on that, since you're kind of going to that topic, Ryan Garcia, he's talking about Bohemian Grove. What do you think about that? Because everybody's saying that he's on drugs, he's crazy, but
So-
is he or is he not speaking the truth?
I don't really keep up to date with him. I know he's a boxer, fighter, something like that. I don't. Again,
He's
I'm
a
not.
boxer.
I'm not into all that stuff like that. I don't really know who he was. I knew of him, but I never like know him like that. And the only reason I knew about it is because I barely hop on X, Twitter, and I saw trending Ryan Garcia. I clicked on it, and then it was like uploaded 4 minutes ago. But I saw his conversation that he had with Andrew Tate, talking about the Grove, talking about what they were doing to children, talking about all this other stuff like that. And then within 24 hours, then he had a video where he's like, he looked a little off in that video, but he was saying like, basically saying that I'm okay, everything's better. Basically trying to make up for everything that he was saying.
Right, but then he also said he didn't have access to his phone. He didn't have access to Instagram or anything. I think what had happened was
That's a deep fake.
people are saying that he got 5150'd, and
What is
that means 5150'd, I believe, is when they take you to a psych ward. Is that the right? Or they take you to like a place to see if you're mentally
a mental
sane.
asylum?
Institution.
Right, not an asylum, but
An institution.
an institution where they like strip everything from you to, and then they'll like
Physically or like just naked or?
no, just
Or-
like everything, like you don't have access to anything.
Oh, okay. Like
Yeah.
okay, like okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, so but then they ended up testing him to see if he was like, I guess, sane, and he came out fine. So that's how after that video he came out with a whole bunch of other tweets and was like going off on Twitter and exposing all these elites and Bohemian Grove and everything that went on, and he was going on and on and on about it. And you actually have people, because I listened back to some of the spaces that Spaces is like, do you know what Spaces are?
Is that a little live thing on?
It's like the
X?
live, yeah. It's
How
like
do I
where-
know that? I
yeah.
think I've heard it once. and
It's like
that's
the
it.
live thing for X.
Yeah, it's a
for Twitter,
broadcasting
yeah.
section.
So he was going on like different people's, like a whole bunch of them, and there was like a compilation of them on YouTube. So I listened to like most of them. So there's a lot of people that are siding with them, and they're like, well, I believe you. Just keep doing what you're doing, because he's preaching. I'm a follower of Christ.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Why would I be saying this if it isn't true? For me, I guess my opinion on it. He does seem a little off, but
He seemed
is
off
also,
in that last video, the one I sent you on Instagram.
Yeah, I know
He
which
seemed
one you're
off right
talking
there.
about, too.
That's Something's weird about that
It
video.
looked like that one was supposed to go on Instagram, and the person that was filming him was here, but then there was like another camera that was
Yeah.
also filming him. Because if you like watch that
Yeah,
video,
yeah.
he's looking. He never looks at this camera.
Yeah.
He's looking at.
He must have crossed-eyed at one point. Like all jokes aside, like it just like the video looked weird.
Scripted.
Yeah, I don't know.
It could have been even AI generated for all I damn know.
I mean,
There's
being off,
deepfakes
that
and
could be
everything.
like kind of traumatizing. I mean, look at his status.
Yeah.
You know, and like
Yeah.
to risk all of that to make these allegations, I can see like where the risk to reward. The math ain't mathin'. But he's not the only one that's been coming out. Cat Williams
Right,
too.
Cat Williams. There's Ice Cube,
Mm-hmm.
and it seems like everybody that doesn't want to, I guess, join the club, they come out having the elites don't like that, and then that's where you get, situations to like Ryan Garcia, Cat Williams, Ice Cube. There and Ice Cube, I think, is actually doing like a tour, going around speaking about it.
Wow.
So
That's pretty crazy.
Have you seen like they always the Ice Spice recently, what she was doing at the Super Bowl?
oh, like the
little
upside down cross or something.
Upside down
Or she was
cross and
wearing
like
an
a
upside down
devil sign
cross,
on her
yeah.
hands. Like I don't want to do it, but like depicting like a goat.
It's like
something.
yeah, I
The
know. what you're-
Illuminati.
Yeah, like that. Get the chills. No, like I've seen like that happen. There's like that, and then something about there's a trend where in order to get into the club, if you're a man, that they're gonna put you in a dress in some form of way.
Oh, I heard about
yeah.
that from
Wait,
Kevin,
what?
like Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart,
And
like
he was-
everybody who they save's been a part of like the club, like the elitists and all that.
It's like an affiliate or
Affiliate, a
like
public humiliation, basically, where a man is in a dress of some sort. And if you look at all of the elitists that people claim are in there, at one point there was that like the men that are in there were in a dress one point of their lives to get into it, like whether if it was for a fashion
comedy
statement,
show.
comedy, a skit.
Wow.
But it's, I guess
Didn't know that.
public humiliation is what you're sacrificing to get in as a man in a dress to
Yeah.
drop your masculinity for the club.
Yeah. The only individual that I can think of that wore a dress like outfit was Young Thug, or a
I know what you're
kilt,
talking about.
but he had an AK strapped to his leg, so that's why he wore it. I mean, yeah, all that was like off topic, but I think shout out Young Thug. I actually enjoy him a lot. But yeah, as far as the conspiracy goes, I mean, the only reason I ask is because these people are projected as being like crazy, right? And they had to go through all these tests. They have a really high reputation in society. Now they're kind of risking it all to exploit, what's happening behind the scenes. So it's, I mean, to me, not having that status, I would assume like, oh, those are allegations or attention, right? And that's not how I feel personally, but it's just like a trend that Cat Williams being called crazy, that he's full of crap. I'm allowed to say crap.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard because I'm 50-50 too, because I'm like, one, like why would somebody go to that extent to exploit the elites or the Illuminati or whatever the case may be?
Right, but I feel like we've seen a handful of celebrities already come out and speak on it, and it's like, okay, it's there. There's evidence of the Bohemian Grove of just like during the daytime, and it's just like, well, it is there, and there is.
Epstein
It's like
Island.
something
Yeah, I was
fishy.
literally
something-
thinking about that right
Epstein
now.
Island?
And you know what? Funny you're saying that because what's his name was calling out people on there too. Ryan Garcia.
Yeah. Yeah, one by one.
About to list them
it's-
off right now. No, I'm just
By the way, if we just abruptly start not podcasting anymore, it was not our choice. Somebody threatened us to not speak on this stuff again. We will never commit. We will never off.
We're not psychotic.
We wouldn't end our lives on purpose, is what we're trying to say.
Yeah.
So if we just disappear, we were right.
Yeah, and the
dude,
only,
that's funny you say that too because one of my boys. What topic were we talking about? We were talking about some topic, and he said the same thing. He said, "You're playing a dangerous game."
What?
I said,
about us.
I said, if I end up disappearing,
Oh.
you know why?
yeah.
He's
I
like,
mean,
"You're
it's
crazy."
true. I mean, they have so much power up there. It's like if they don't like you, they're gonna get rid of you if you're a nobody, because nobody's gonna look into you. Pay
Right.
off family members, whatever the case is.
Yeah, it's tough too because I don't really have too much information, but I mean, the people who are experiencing these things firsthand are obviously gonna, well, not obviously, but they can exploit some of these individuals. So it's hard to like question their validity behind it.
Yeah.
I mean, Ryan Garcia is like one of the most elite boxers in the world. Why would he be going through such turmoil at this time, and then exposing all these individuals by name, by case, with like specific details? Yeah, so it's kind of hard.
First fight?
Huh?
Could it be advertisement toward this fight?
It could
Like,
be.
who was it?
could
Logan
be,
Paul
but-
and
comeback.
who was it? Logan Paul and who?
Who? Jake Paul?
Oh, never mind. Look, my bad. I was jumping the gun too fast.
Oh, and KSI?
Nothing.
Never mind.
I don't know. I mean, there are like influencers who, I mean, look at WWE. You make up a story,
Yeah.
and they both like
They're
pay
really
each
good acting
other
skills.
out. You know what I mean? Just to get the fight
Yeah.
revenue up. I've heard that too, but like, I don't know. It's kind of tough because I just read the Twitter, right? You just showed me
Yeah.
about Ryan Garcia, and I knew that he had posted like several things beforehand that indicated that he was like going through something. But I mean, I wouldn't classify him as psychotic or like insane,
Right.
to say the least.
I have been following him for about 2 to 3 years now, and it does seem like he has gone through a lot in the past 3 to 4 months. When he fought Tank, he was a lot thinner because of the weight that he was fighting at. Now he's supposed to be fighting at 140, but he looks a lot heavier. People are accusing him of alcohol. Devin Haney saying that he's on the snow. And I don't know. Maybe that's playing a part in it. You just really you really
He
don't
got
know.
them zombie eyes
Yeah.
on a bender. Huh. Yeah, could be. I mean, dude's one of the top boxers.
And he's young. He's 25. I mean,
Yeah, living life.
24, 25.
That's the
Just going
like
through
the diluted part about the society is that there's so many variables. It could be drugs. It could be truth. It could be like conspiracy. It could be like a source of like to
I feel
promote
like
his name
it's
to bring
a,
more traction.
Compilation of everything.
A mix of everything.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
A collection. Yeah.
Because I feel like this is all just an assumption.
Yeah, of course.
But I feel like he is speaking some truth.
Yeah.
I feel like he isn't all 100% mentally all there. So that's probably adding on to what he's saying, and it's just like really, really out there. He may or may not have an issue with alcohol, because even in his press conference, he said, "I do smoke and I do drink." He did say that. Devin Haney said that he smelled alcohol on him during their press conference. So it's like, okay, was he drinking at the presser? Was he drunk?
Yeah.
So,
Too many questionables.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's a combination of like just everything.
Could be too, but like, how do you get selected to be
Money.
asked into the
Money.
money?
What? If you really think about it, what?
Well, my thing always resorts to building snow angels. I mean, if the dude's tampering and associating himself with, the people who help build snow angels, was that his entryway, or what grasp do they have over him, besides him losing his career somehow?
Family?
Which would be like,
Like threatening family members.
Yeah. Well, he said that he can't say too much because they will get him and his family. So they already, according to him, they already threatened his family, and if he keeps speaking out, he's gonna no longer be. So it's
ooh, spooky.
it's kind of crazy. It's a really.
But it's also like there's just so many routes. Like it could be 100% truth, but there's so much cloudiness in social media and everything that he could be 100% saying the truth, but nobody believes him. Like half the people are mocking him, like, "Nah, he's just full of this." But then the other half is like, "I believe him." Jesus.
And then there's another half that are like, "Oh, he's doing this to promote his fight."
Yeah, because there are strategies like that where you over exaggerate things.
You're a pick me.
Yeah, where you over exaggerate certain parts just to get he's trending on Twitter right now because of it. Okay, then in 5 weeks from now or whenever it's fight, I say, okay, let me go see how Ryan Garcia. Let me go tune into the fight. Oh, this happened. Then boom, you got an extra view or an extra whatever, and that's how that marketing.
I heard that for like the whole time that he was doing that, every hour he'd gain 5,000 followers or something like that.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy. Did they interview his family? Has anybody close
his
to him?
brother, I think his ex-wife stepped
Ex-wife?
out. Yeah.
At 25? Damn.
Mm-hmm. He recently got a divorce. Well,
Not my part. Just caught me off guard. Already.
She came out on Instagram and said Ryan is okay, because remember his first post was him like running and was like, we got him, whatever, and then the
I didn't see that
crazy
one, but I
numbers.
heard about it.
Yeah, well, she came out and said Ryan is okay, but I need everybody that are believers to pray for him because he is going through a lot right now and he's under a lot of pressure. So that was one of them. And then his little brother also came out and said that he is okay, but he's also dealing with a lot. So
That's
please
sweet of her,
have
though.
him in your thoughts. Yeah.
Oh.
So those were the only two people that I know that kind of came out. I don't think his parents really said anything or came out and said anything.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was just those two people that I know of.
Pressure
Yeah.
from. Well, my thing is like if you've been in boxing your whole life, right? What? I mean, the pressure is normal when it comes to that realm. So what, like, extra pressure could he be feeling to cause him to feel this way? You know, I mean, it has to be something a little bit more, right? Because like,
Well, and it's hard to put it in perspective for us, I guess, because we're not at the level that he's at with, I guess, money. Finance, yeah, because when you have that type of finance, you're just like, you're living a completely different life. So maybe the pressure of his life is just kind of, it's a lot, I guess. And they're also speaking on, he goes to a lot of poker competitions, and I guess he's a big spender and doesn't win a lot. So people are saying that he could be in debt. So he's doing that to, I don't know, somehow bring in money.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the marketing way where if you are that much in debt, you need more viewers because I think your pay will be bigger. I'm not sure how the pay distributions go, but more people watch you, the more they're probably going to get paid for it. That payment's going to pay off your debt.
Yeah, bet big, win big.
Yep, on that topic, one of his tweets, something he said UFOs, he said UFO and the rapture, or something like that. Said something UFO and the rapture.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Because I was kind of going through his tweets and something caught my eye, said UFO and rapture. Then it made me think, and I'm going to make this up on the spot, as in I haven't formulated my thoughts correctly yet, so I'm just going to spitball. But that tweet of hearing UFO and aliens is because, I'm not sure if you guys know the Project Bluebeam, what that is. Do you know? No?
I do.
Long story short, Project Bluebeam is about, they always point fingers at NASA because NASA money, all that great stuff, that they will join forces with someone around the world. It could be like a one world government type of thing idea. And this is like a quick summary. I'm probably incorrect on my wording or whatever the case is. But it's about NASA with technology creating a fake alien invasion. And then they're going to create a savior, as in replicate some sort of hero, as in Jesus, to come destroy the aliens or whatever. And then that's going to make us people worship that technology representation of Jesus, a hero. And that's how that one world order will fall into place. That's long story short because there's a whole complex thing about it.
Right.
Wow.
But before diving into that, or even because I'm not well rounded on that, like that still made me think about. I was like, damn. Because this Earth society is distant, like going so far from God, what if they were to stage, like when the rapture actually happens, what if the government blames it on UFOs? As in there was a mass abduction of people from UFOs.
Like they twist it?
Yeah, where they use, as in, the rapture actually happened, Jesus come, but the government blames, UFOs, there was a bunch of random abductions, so if you can't find this person, the aliens took them away or whatever. But in reality, the rapture actually happened.
To mask it.
To kind of live in lies as society does. That was just the thought process that seeing that tweet
Yeah.
kind of came out. Because when you really think about it, it's not that far of a stretch when you have a society that continuous, like, media and everything like that, just built empire built of lies.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think everything's just so logical nowadays too. You know what I mean? Which is in the government's benefit because I feel like the government could really do anything. I mean, there's conspiracies with like them setting off nukes on like not plates, but in between plates, right?
Oh, I know
Tectonic
what you're talking
plates?
about.
Yeah, tectonic plates and causing
create
some
earthquakes and-
natural disasters that have been, taking out basically genocide, trying to
Well,
take out a
you know
specific.
what? And on that topic, I think in Dubai they have cloud seeding. Is that what it's called?
Cloud seeding?
Cloud seeding,
I don't know what
where
that is.
they don't typically get a lot of rain, but there's something, and I don't know exactly how it works, but somehow I think it is called cloud
Are
seeding.
you talking about manipulating the weather to make it rain?
Yes.
How do that was me just piecing it together.
And I don't know how exactly it works, but I think that's what it's called, cloud seeding, and they're able to make it rain. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like officially, they've done that type of thing,
I think
or
so. Let me see. Let me look it up really quick.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I get where your question's coming from, and it's so hard because I think, like, in general, right, we're pretty gullible right now in society, pretty gullible.
and technology, how far it's going on. There was a football game. I forgot what it was, but there was like a Black Panther that was like a really good hologram of it. Didn't they also do a Tupac hologram a long time ago? Oh, a long
they
time ago,
did.
a couple years
They
ago.
did.
Hologram performances. Yeah. So, I mean, that could be a possibility. The rapture actually happens and then they blame it on something else more logical.
Right.
Interesting theory, though. But yeah, the conspiracies about the natural disasters, that kind of made me trip out a little bit because it's possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the earthquake in Haiti and hurricane. There was a hurricane.
But what benefits the game though?
But
Well, you know what? And then there's also what's going on with like the lasers?
I was thinking about the same thing. Blue roofs. Biden, I think, apparently accidentally exposed it or something
Right.
like that. How and somebody showed it where they had some sort of laser. Like I saw on TikTok, had some sort of laser that they were going over a bunch of different colored cloths, and it didn't burn the blue one, but it kept burning like the red,
All
the white
the
ones,
others.
and that's why all the roofs that were painted blue or something didn't catch fire. Something like that.
And I forgot there was in another country, people were painting the top of their roofs blue too.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that one.
Mm-hmm.
it's just crazy because, like, with, again, how advanced our technology is, like, with seismographs and how much we study the Earth, you think that we would be, like, proactive about these things? Like, and if there were going to be a natural disaster, why didn't we catch it?
Like having the technology to predict these things. In a way?
Yeah.
Oh, I get.
Because, like, were
maybe-
they all preventable and we just didn't do anything? I mean, because I get, Mother Nature, right? But, like, there's a reason why we have the Weather Channel, to prepare us for some of these things.
But then again, sometimes things are unpredictable. But then again, what
But
are we
to
also?
us.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
If they could already know, they could just be mentally prepared as in, hey, heads up, it's gonna be an earthquake at this time, at this date, or roughly around this date, because we can physically see the tectonic plates shifting with the technology that we have. Yeah,
Yeah.
I see it. I mean, if we have sonars for like the ocean, the ocean's more like see-through. It's clear in a way. It's a little bit easier, but with the amount of money that we have, but then that frustrates me, because playing both sides, right? Let's say that we don't have that technology, but what are we putting our money into? Why can't we be putting our money into creating that technology to have those abilities versus sending the money to Ukraine and all that stuff like that? Like we should be investing in our own technology.
Yeah, well, the conspiracy, I think, for, like, the whole Haiti thing is because they're trying to decrease the poverty from rich, right? By knocking off more impoverished
It's like areas and stuff like
countries.
that.
Yeah, so that was, like, the conspiracy that I had not really read into, but I was, like, looking into. And I was like, wow, made me really think about it for a while. And I was like, wow, what if we do have some sort of, like,
Then all the
technology
bunkers.
or nuclear bomb that we just set off on the coastline, causes shift,
Yeah,
you know?
tsunamis.
Is Mother Nature really in charge, or Are we capable of causing these natural disasters?
I think we definitely are.
Everything we really wanted to, we could. Where was it? Maybe a movie. I don't know. But there's been some sort of speaking of natural, like mother. I'll say it, not Mother Nature, but natural warfare. Where to take out a city, you set off a bomb out in the ocean, so the tsunami takes out the city, as in a war tactic. Smart, cost efficient. You don't really find out who it was because the bomb just goes off. I mean, maybe you can, but pretty sure finding the remains of an atomic bomb in the ocean would be kind of difficult to find.
Yeah.
And then people will be more focused on the destruction of the city that got hit by the tsunami that was caused from the bomb. But there's some sort of name for it. It's not. I don't think it's natural warfare, but by the nature warfare. I don't know. I'm just going a little tangent right there. But
Yeah, but conspiracies trip me out, dude. Like sometimes
You're thinking
well,
hard right now.
Well, you can really go
Yeah.
like into
Yeah.
depth with conspiracies
You
because
could go on and on.
Yeah.
with
yeah,
conspiracies.
with so
9/11
many
inside
different-
job.
Oh my gosh, dude,
Yeah.
like it's just like it's crazy to me. But again, like Javi was saying, like the rich people live a different lifestyle. The people who study the planet and are like working for the government live a way different lifestyle.
Do you guys
And
think it was an inside job?
I don't know, but it just makes me think that too. Like I just watching so many movies, and I know movies
Yeah.
are an incredible source, but like the reason why the government mass some of these things is because they don't want to scare us into worrying. Like the Civil War, or like prepping bunkers, the things that we talked about in the previous podcast. I'm like, but that like makes sense. Like why wouldn't you be doing that to prepare yourself for anything? Better to have it than not need it, than need it and not
Very
have
true.
it. You know
Very
what I mean?
true.
But I don't know.
You guys want to go see that movie?
Which one?
Civil War. There's a new movie that's called Civil War coming out soon.
Like Avengers?
No. So not Avengers Civil War, but like the movie's just called Civil War. I'll show you guys the trailer after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But it was made from somebody who's not from America because they put California and Texas as an alliance that have like the same. We all know California's left, Texas is right, but they put them as an alliance, but they don't know their demographics for politics because that movie was made from a different person that's not in America. I don't know all the details. That's why I'm wording it that way.
Cool.
But I'd be
Yeah.
down to go see the movie. What was I gonna say?
To be continued.
But yeah, no UFOs and raptures. That's a whole.
I'd love to look into that a little bit more.
See, it's hard as a follower of Christ, believing in aliens and UFOs, but having that faith of God. It's very.
Well, let's cut it in half. What do you think about the rapture? Do you think it's coming? Do you think?
Oh
we're
yeah, I
going
mean it's
to rapture?
said in Revelations. It's bound
Yeah.
to happen. It's the farmer harvesting his crops from the good ones and the bad ones. That's what Jesus is gonna do. That's how heaven is. It's that parable where, God throws His seeds in the beginning, the creation of earth. He lets them blossom throughout life. Where evolution, humans, not evolution, but like technology evolution grows and all that great stuff like that. And then at the end, the rapture, when it's time for the harvest, the rapture happens, and He comes to take away the good harvest and leaves the bad harvest behind.
Well,
Wait, what? What exactly is that? Is that
The rapture?
or what's the 3 days of darkness? Do you know what I'm
I
talking
don't know
about?
what that is.
I'm not too
I feel like I should know it, but I don't know what that is. Tell me about the trumpet sound?
The what?
The trumpets?
What is that?
So, okay. I got my knowledge off a meme. So don't quote me on this. But I saw a meme where when the moon is turning red, people right now currently say the moon is turning red. If you look at it closely, it's like rusting or something like that. And then there was an anime meme of like right below it of a really hardcore, like Christians smiling like this because it means Jesus is coming. So I'm not sure, but that the trumpets sound when Jesus is coming. Basically, what rapture is gonna happen. Like all around the world, there's gonna be a trumpet that goes off, like basically an alarm, a world alarm that's gonna go off at once, and that's the beginning of the rapture, the coming of Christ.
Oh, I don't even know.
Hold
what
on, am I tripping or was there a story in the Bible where
Yes.
Yes, you're tripping.
like you
No,
had
I'm just
to
kidding.
I'm curious.
put like a cross on your door,
Oh, that's
like-
Moses.
baby goat, or something like that?
The movie Moses. I don't know if it was a
I haven't
cross,
heard
but
of it.
yeah, where they
Yeah, the
the ghost like I don't know whatever. I haven't watched what is it called? It's about Moses, but the Prince of Egypt is a Disney movie that teaches about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's a story in the Bible too.
Yeah. Well, I guess because what I was gonna bring up is kind of similar, but it's called like the 3 days of darkness.
Yeah, 3 different things happened, and then one was like raining fire. The other was like the spirit came and took your life if you didn't have the marking. That
Yeah,
showed
if
that
you
you're
didn't have
living.
like a certain marking.
Yeah, The Prince of Egypt. You can watch it. It's a Disney movie. It's actually really good. It was one of my favorite movies growing up.
Huh.
And it's in the Bible. Yeah.
You guys want to know about the blood moon?
Yes. The blood moon.
Says the claim of blood moon being a sign of the beginning of end times originates in the book of Joel, where it is written, the sun will turn into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and terrible days the Lord comes. This prophecy was repeated by Peter during Pentecost as stated in Acts. So the moon will be blood moon, and then the trumpets again. This is end times, basically signs. Mark of the Beast will come up. Do you know what that is? Mark of the Beast?
Naruto?
Nine Tails.
No. Mark of the No, but Frills, do you know?
No, I don't.
So Mark of the Beast is basically when there's gonna be a time, and the Mark of the Beast has been proclaimed multiple times throughout our existence, as in iPhones or phones were claimed as Mark of the Beast, where so they're saying the Neuralink is gonna be the Mark of
Or
the
like
Beast.
Monster?
No, so I know what you're talking about, the energy drink of how
Is that like literal?
So that's a literal like a meaning of it, because the signs, they're not slashes, they're the number 6 in a different meaning.
6, 3 times.
Because there's a fighter who always smacks the monster can off his table whenever it's there.
I think it's Adesanya.
Not sure, but
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about, but that's not
And
it.
he'll do like the crossover.
Like that or something like that. Yeah. But I know what you're talking about, but that's not it. The Mark of the Beast would be something along the lines of, it kind of dabbles in with the one world government thing going on, where if you don't have the Mark of the Beast, you're not going to be able to eat, you're not going to be able to do any of like your basic livings. And a lot of Christians will suffer from not taking the Mark of the Beast or followers of Christ, because it goes against, again, this is like verbatim, like I'm kind of putting stuff together right now. But basically it's something that every human's going to have implanted in them, or some sort of marking on them, that's going to allow them to do everyday interactions that you normally already do. And that Mark of the Beast is that you... I'm not going to I'm not going to... Wait a second. Because Mark of the Beast...
Well, basically, yeah. So the Prince of Egypt is animated, telling the story, retelling of the book of Exodus. So it's based off a biblical story of Moses and the Exodus from the book of Exodus in the Old Testament. But I know what you're talking about, because that just nostalgic memory. Because that was one of my favorite movies as a kid. Haven't watched it in a long time, but yeah, it kind of creeped me out too.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, like, when I was younger, I was like, oh, that's scary, because you kind of get the concept of what's happening. Yeah. You know what I mean? But the spirit part, like, that freaked me out, because I'm like, am I supposed to do that? I was just like a little kid watching this movie.
Where if you don't cover, or if you happen to look outside or something, like,
you just had to have like a marking on your door, which would
and it's like a spirit that comes and checks it, and if you're not, they'll like.
Yep, go in there. Yeah, soul snatcher.
God. But the mark. So the Mark of the Beast. The mark is put on the forehead of those who worship the beast, the Antichrist, and the symbol of the opposition to God. So, Book of Revelation is very terrifying. It's basically.
Who wrote that?
Dude, we have to watch this movie.
Sorry, I'm asking like hella questions.
No, you're okay.
Wait, what? You were talking about?
The Prince of Egypt.
Wait, so if that was true, and if they got all the non-believers,
John the Elder.
Who?
John the Elder.
John the Baptist.
John the Elder.
There's a difference. Let me check.
This John was on the island of Patmos.
So there
Patmos,
is a difference.
not far from the coast of. Do I have to say that? But yes, John the Elder.
But what was your question?
Oh, sorry. Where was I going with that? Yeah, if they got all the non-believers, then everybody at one point was all believers in Christ. Right?
Wait, what was your question?
Kind
What
of.
was your statement?
Because
We're talking about the Egyptian.
Okay, gotcha. I heard your sentence.
I think they were saying if you didn't have like a certain marking
Okay.
on your house, the spirit would enter if you didn't have the marking,
Oh.
because that meant you were a non-believer, and they would, I don't know, take your soul or something among those lines. So at the end of that whole process, technically everybody would be believers of Christ.
Oh, because they took. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think it was only from like a specific civilization though.
Oh,
Israelites.
it was just okay.
Yeah, because Moses.
It wasn't like all over.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
dude. Honestly, you should watch that movie.
Yeah,
I'll
probably
rewatch it too. It's honestly really good, and the older you get and actually start to comprehend the meaning
Right.
of some of these movies. It has the burning bush in the movie. You know when Moses.
Wait, the
split
burning
sea.
and that burning bush is still burning, right?
in the Bible.
And
That's the way that they spoke.
Well, isn't there one in Portugal that's like burning?
Oh, I'm not too sure.
I think there is. Or there's like a tree. Let me see. If you go to a fast food restaurant
Fast food like McDonald's, or are we
like Chick-fil-A,
Okay.
Ahi Poke. Oh, well, okay. I guess there's different tiers.
Starbucks. There we go.
Okay, Starbucks. Are you
No, I
gonna
never
tip
tip.
a barista to make your coffee?
No, because they get paid.
If you go to Dutch Bros, do you tip my baristas?
No, they get paid.
Dang.
But that's the thing, though.
Should they get tipped though?
They shouldn't have to live off their tips. The corporation should be paying them that minimum wage, where they don't have to peer pressure customers into feeling bad or other people shame each other for not leaving tips. The corporation itself should be paying their waitresses or servers or whatever the case is. They should be paying them a livable wage and not making them go out there and work for their tips. Sure, it creates a customer experience because now their personality is based off of my personality will depend if I get more tips or not. And I see what they're doing, but it's gone to the point where the society has turned. Yeah, it's expected. The society has turned where if you don't tip, oh, you shouldn't go out and because you can't afford it. It's like, no, I'm not tipping because that person's already getting paid. And I'm not going to partake in you trying to make me feel bad for not tipping somebody because that corporation makes billions of dollars, makes millions of dollars, whatever the case is, and they're not properly paying their employees. And now those employees have to go out, put on a face. And again, when I used to work at Denny's, I knew some people who would make more than their paycheck based off tips. Congrats for them.
Yeah.
But reality is how many people are in that category where they're making more than what they would be making if they were making a minimum wage. You know?
Well, I guess for me, I guess it's based off of not a tier system, but it's like for fast foods, I'm typically not gonna tip. Excuse me, but for like Ahi Poke, sometimes there's like a
little tip at the
like
register.
you'll pay and then it'll be like
a tip prop.
and sometimes it's like 25%, 20%, 15%, 10%,
I'll
and then
probably
it's
hit
like, right, where's the other at? Like you're
Right.
trying to find like, and sometimes I'm just like, okay, whatever, 10. But
I'll be that person and
You'll
say,
be
hey,
like,
where's
no.
the X?
for real,
Hell yeah. It's my money.
sometimes I'm just like, it's 10%. But yeah, if I'm sitting down at a restaurant, there's a server, and the server is being attendant, and
Oh,
is
yeah, of course.
actually, then I'm gonna tip.
Yeah, like that stuff I don't mind. I don't mind, you go above and beyond. You make sure I always have water. Oh, you got me 5 extra ranches. Oh, whatever it is, right?
Right.
That stuff, cool. I'll shoot you a couple bucks. Yeah. I'm not going to go where you go to Starbucks, you order in, they flip the screen. Would you like to leave a tip? No. Why am I going to tip you for doing your job?
Yeah.
Now, if you went above and beyond, but then again, I went to, and my boy Octavio knows this, but I went out to New York with him. And
Okay, hold on though.
Go ahead.
Because I know I actually went to Dutch, and I didn't know what to get. So I asked the person, like, hey, like, what do you think I should get? And he's like, well, what are you looking for? And I'm like, oh, I'm looking for this. Da, da, da. So he kind of helped me out to find out, or like to give me a
tip? Or
option.
option to drink.
like
Yeah.
a couple options on drinks. And I'm like, oh, this guy was really nice. He helped me out. The drink was like $5-6 bucks. I'm gonna give him like $1 or $2. So boom, yeah. Then I'll be like, okay, yeah, I'll give you like $2.
See, like, that's cool. It's understanding. They could have said, oh, just get the number one. Or I don't know how Dutch goes. I don't really go there,
Mhm.
but I'll just get this. And it's the most basic drink. But if they even went into detail, sure, dude, stuff like that. It's understandable. I would probably do the same thing.
Yeah, there's like certain scenario. I guess there's certain
Yeah.
scenarios, certain.
But now
by
it's that
case.
expectation that almost builds an unhealthy environment where if you don't tip, it's frowned upon
Mm,
in that way, where it's like expected and needed. But I believe the corporation thrives off that because
Yeah.
the corporation wins at the end of the day, as in they pay this base lower. I think they pay less than minimum wage, right?
for you're talking about like restaurants.
And every place is probably different. But
Well, it really depends how you break it down. Because if you're talking QSRs, right, like
What is
Burger
that?
King, McDonald's, quick service restaurants,
Oh,
Starbucks is a
big word for
QSR. You know, fast food restaurants are QSR. Dutch Bros is a
Mhm.
QSR. I mean, it really depends on like I don't feel an obligation to really tip like Burger King, right? But
Right.
I think if we were to categorize everything, every restaurant or whatever, wherever we go, and we actually do tip, it's probably because we're tipping the service, right? Like the interaction that we have.
Right.
Because when you tip, you pay for an experience. Because humans pay for experiences. When we go to Disneyland, we expect it to be perfect, food to taste good, and then possibly tip if possible. But all that to say is like I get where you're coming from. Like it has become kind of like an obligation, but in Javi's instance, right, it wasn't an obligation because he was paying for the services given,
of course.
right? You know what I mean? And tipping for that. And that also your comment, and this is no shade to you at all, but I do think like when it does become an expectation, it kind of takes away the sincerity of a tip, you know, because that's one thing too that, you know, I teach my baristas, and it all goes down to who we hire though. Like I want people here who are actually here for the right reasons, because if you're here for the money, go somewhere else. You're probably going to make more money. But if you're here to like build connections, build relationships, and with our customers, like you will reap the reward. But I think a tip is a reward for the effort you put into an interaction
Exactly.
rather than the product itself. Because I've been to, I mean, Ahi Poke is not a really high end, you know,
That's
restaurant.
good food, but I know what
Good food.
Yeah.
But you know, it's still just nice to like leave them a tip. In Dutch Bros, I know that was an example, but we used to strive ourselves on really just like our philanthropy, which is just like cool. Like how much of an experience can we provide in a 30 second to a minute interaction? Because that is how you earn your tips. No way, shape, or form do I ever want one of my baristas ever being like, tip,
Yeah.
tip,
Yeah.
tip, you know, like earn it.
And I think that's what I've experienced most of my life is where people come with a dry attitude or whatever it is. I was like, tip.
Yeah.
No way. But that's also because I worked at restaurants for a while, and I saw how it was, how some servers and because I used to also live off tips for a minute, and I was like, I don't, and I would give decent service. I wouldn't go above and beyond. You know, happy. And say, hey, you know, I got you, bro. You want some water? I got you. Whatever the case is. But I wouldn't like expect them. But when they came in, oh, cool, thank you, I appreciate you. No way.
Yeah, I think authenticity is like the biggest characteristic someone can have, and biggest like investment, or not investment, but it would be like, what's the word I'm looking for? Being authentic is probably like the easiest way to earn tips, I think, in my book. I'd rather have a conversation and tip someone that I know is generally like nice or
Yeah.
like doesn't expect things, and you can really like tell when people are being genuine and nice, and like when their servers are going above and beyond, because it shouldn't feel like an obligation. And I know that in today's society, it kind of is.
yeah.
Like you go to a restaurant and I'm like, I really have to tip this person out
Or
of
when
obligation.
they force it too, as well.
Yeah, you know, would you like to leave a tip? And
It's like gratitude.
it's like, but I seen you once this whole time I'm eating dinner, and actually, homeboy over there, you know, helped me out more than you did. But just because you're like seeing over the table, I'm supposed to tip you. It kind of takes away it takes away from the experience, and that's the word that I'm going to use for it. I really tip based off of my experience. Not only of like the food, but the interactions that I have, also like the establishment as well. And I'm a huge fan of Mama and Papa shops, so I will always tip big when I go to Mama and Papa shops. But yeah, I do tip. But I have tipped too out of obligation, because I'm like, oh, this is awkward. And I don't like want. It's like when you go to a grocery store and they're like, at the end of your transaction, they're like, would you like to round up to the nearest
Oh yeah.
dollar?
Would you like to donate? Yeah. Around
It feels weird, but you still do it. You know what I mean? Well, I don't do it all the time, but then I feel bad if I don't do
Yeah,
it.
I'm
But
exactly like that.
I'm also
Yeah.
like, I don't even know if this employee cares that I leave it or not, which is a problem.
Could it be
Right.
a possibility that it's just a corp? Because don't some at the bottom, again, every donation thing is different.
Mhm.
Where some says only 10% of these proceeds will go to the actual, like to whatever you're donating to.
Mm.
90% will go for them. Or there's some places that are completely opposite. 90% of this will go towards whatever you're donating for. But do you think it's a corporation's way to abuse people's vulnerable side of help?
I honestly just think of like, and this is how I explain it. I'm trying not to use Dutch Bros as much, but that's kind of like my field, my profession. But like I always say, like, hey, Dutch Bros is just the brand, but it's the person wearing it that makes the impact, that makes the experience for the customer. So, you know, like corporations, yes, they're huge. They make billions of dollars, you know, sometimes, and it's like, but from going to the store and seeing who's working your register, like that should be a problem. You know, like I would never feel obligated to donate to a bigger cause because of like the interaction that I'm having with an employee who's supposed to represent not only the brand but to represent this nonprofit that you're donating to. Doesn't feel or seem very appealing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if again one of my employees was working, I hope that they would like know their information that they studied, like enough to like talk about it. And I think that's one thing that my company has always just been super stellar about, is that they do care. Like I pick local nonprofits, and it's people that I am in contact with that we like show up and do events for. I also post information about what they do, links, etc., to ensure that like when they at the barista level are having these interactions with customers, that they know their stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so it's more authentic. It just feels better, honestly. But yeah, I've always been skeptical of like rounding up, because I'm like, how do I know this is actually going there? You know what I mean? And I deliver checks at hand too, sometimes to the nonprofit, but not to like, I mean,
No, but you're
not to use me
yeah.
as an example, but like to make that distinction, because I know where you're coming from. It's weird. It just feels awkward.
But I will say I have no problem hitting no 99% of the time. And that 1% time I probably did accidentally.
You're like, oh, they flipped it on me.
Yeah, where they put where the yes always out, with the no, they sort of something like
They
that.
do that sometimes. I'm like,
They will,
oh,
or
that
they'll
was a good
change
strategy.
the-
You got me.
They'll
Change
change
the
the color.
color.
They'll change the color yes to red or stuff like that, just to get that. You know. But
Marketing strategy.
yeah, because
like, I'm
our
gonna
color
implement
patterns are used as in red equals no,
Yeah.
but when
Yeah.
that red is now a yes, you're like, huh? I remember somebody accidentally
Oh, I
donated
do have a
$15.
question now.
Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt, but do you tip your barber then?
It's funny
And
that
then
you bring that
why?
up. It's funny that you bring that up and have a beautiful example, because my girl also asked me that.
Okay.
Yes, because he gives me a discount, and I also believe in paying somebody for their full service. Never take, especially supporting a homie, because I've known him since like 3rd grade, and so I basically tip back what he discounted to me. So it counters his discount
Yeah.
by paying normal price. So that's the only
That
one I
makes sense.
tip.
I have a question. So if somebody that you didn't know at the gym hired you for like a little gym reel or something, I don't know, say it's, I don't know, throw out a number, like $50.
It's funny because it just happened to me.
Wait, what?
One of my clients tipped me.
Oh, okay. But were you
I
expecting it, or
wasn't
you just
expecting
like,
it at all. I didn't look for it, and I not that I got on him, but I was like, "What's the $20 for?" I was like, "Go buy yourself some lunch, bro." So, I appreciate you, but I think we're developing a healthy relationship, and that way I greatly freaking appreciated, because we were on the topic about fasting, because I was doing like a 3-day fast and all that.
Right.
But like I never went in there expecting it. It completely caught me off guard. I was like, "What is this for?" Like questioning it, because I'm so uncomfortable with that. I was like, "Please, like," and this is if you're a client listening to me, like, or listening to podcasts, like, don't ever feel obligated like you have to, or I'm looking for it, like, it catches me off guard if anybody ever gives me a tip, because I don't expect it. I don't want them. I just believe in, I will charge you the proper amount of what I believe that my work is meant for, and if you think it's less, then I'll charge you less. If you think it's more, then charge me more. That way. But yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hopefully I satisfied your guys' curiosity and questions.
No, I mean, it's a good topic, I mean, to talk about, because one, I mean, I do think that tips are a source of income
Oh, yeah.
nowadays. I mean, even when I was younger in my barista years, I always like was so excited about tips, and not only it wasn't like my main mission though, and I think the reason why I received more tips is because I didn't make it about the money.
Yeah.
You know what I
Because
mean?
your personality came out, and you have a beautiful personality. So
Thank
like
you.
that
Yeah.
charismatic person of you amplifies, and people thrive off that because emotion is what controls
Mm-hmm.
what you're gonna spend.
Well, I think just people like just miss the purpose of a relationship, right? Because
Hospitality.
well, hospitality, but the real purpose of a relationship, any relationship, is connection, right?
Yeah.
And so when you go through a QSR, I feel like there's a lack of connection there. When you go through like, I don't know, some automated place or whatever. Like McDonald's nowadays has the kiosk that you just order. I'm like, what? That's kind of cool.
Oh, I
But
used those before.
also on the other side
Can you
of
leave a
it,
tip on there?
I don't know.
Our tip's gonna fall apart if if everything's just.
Oh, you know what? That's crazy because I actually went to to Shake Shack not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
They have the kiosk thing there, and you order your food on the kiosk, and they do have a tip thing. And I'm like, okay, who am I tipping? But they do bring out the food to you, and then the person is very like, oh, like he tries to give you that experience, but he's like only really
Customer
bringing out-
service.
he's only really bringing out your food, and then is like, oh, can I grab you anything else, or like
But are you tipping
he's
the
trying to
restaurant?
interact with you too,
Yeah.
like, oh, like
Yeah, where's
But-
the tip go? I mean,
but-
Yeah, I never
divvied
To
up?
answer that, I know my sister used to work at Starbucks for like a couple years, and that store used to take all the tips together and split them up between each employee that worked that day or that worked that shift or those hours. Like so, it could be you're tipping the entire staff, and then at the end of the day, let's say they get $300 worth of tips. They'll divide that by 10 people, and those spread.
I think it's per shift. Yeah, especially
Per
because
shift,
California is a little bit more particular when it comes to labor laws.
California.
That's one fill.
you know what?
Newsom?
And I feel
Oh.
like no,
Panera?
I feel like girls have it
Easier.
easier.
Yeah.
Especially if you're
Yeah.
good looking.
Yeah,
And-
attractiveness.
That's what
and
I
if
know
you-
from Denny's. Is
I
yeah,
feel
yeah.
like if you're an attractive female and you just put in
a
a
little
little effort, you're gonna get
charismaticness. and
you're
so-
gonna get
yeah.
more tips than probably I would,
Mm-hmm.
or just
I-
like an average dude.
I
you know?
tip you.
Dude,
It's-
yeah. No, I love that. And I don't want to like speak too far in the future, but one of the topics that one of my friends said that we should talk about is masculinity versus femininity in today's modern age. And I think that is a huge topic that we can really get nitty gritty
Let's
into.
dive into it now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for a next topic in
Yeah,
a
of
future
course.
episode. But I would agree. I do think that. Yeah, sometimes, and that's
No,
why
I've
I
seen
think
it.
it's. Yeah,
I've seen it happen
yeah.
right in front of me.
Well, I say that like it's true, but like if you just look at attractiveness in general, more attractive people get tipped more or paid more.
Definitely,
You know what I
definitely.
mean? Because like even on, I use MLB and I don't really know too much about baseball, so I could be just like totally wrong. But there's a reason why like the face of the team is probably like the most attractive player on the team, even if they're good or not. You know what I mean? And it's for marketing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, as far as the customer experience goes and like the tipping pool, I do think that we're just heading into an age where people are just like antisocial too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So customer service jobs though, I think would be a cool topic to really dive into. Yeah, and talk about like the pros and cons about customer service, and even touch a little bit on tips. But I do think like earning tips is a lot more difficult because people are more antisocial than ever, so it kind of makes it awkward.
Yeah.
And if I was,
Money nowadays too.
money's tough. I mean, there's a lot of variables in current age that are like making it hard to earn tips. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna use Stockton. I love Stockton, by the way, but it's hard to get tips in Stockton.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just speaking from like on the behalf of people that I know that work, in the QSR industry, because one, some people just don't care to talk to you, right? Even if you try to be nice to them. But if you mess up, people from, not everybody, but I've experienced a lot of individuals that just like blow up on people. Like, Like
But at the
disrespectful
same-
to the
yeah.
customers.
At the
Had
same
menus
time,
thrown
you
at me.
don't know what that person's been through or how that person's day was going.
Also doesn't give you an excuse to take it
But-
on others.
Right, exactly. And I have like first-hand experience with that too because I worked in a bank.
Mm-hmm.
So that's dealing with customers and you're dealing with people's money. And when you're dealing with people's money, they feel
Entitled.
entitled for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For sure. And you'll hear it.
Yeah.
You'll definitely
No,
hear
it
it.
definitely is. Yeah, I get where you're coming from too, and yeah, never like judge anybody, but sometimes I'm like, wow, who taught you that was okay to speak like that at any capacity?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And in some cases they'll come back.
And apologize.
If you-
Those are
and they-
winners.
Yes.
I
yes.
love that.
And they'll
Those
have,
are men,
they'll
if it's
be
for the
like,
man.
hey, you know, I had a bad day. I just, you know, I lost a family member and I happened to come into the bank and I wasn't able to get the money that I needed to, and they just keep explaining it.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, it's okay. I don't worry about it. I get it. I appreciate the apology and just move on from there.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of the moments like that too. And those actually customers had become some of my best regulars.
Dude, I was gonna say
Yeah.
that. Yeah, they come back and you're like, oh, what's up? And you're just like really close to them now.
Yeah.
It's like a different connection.
It's forgiveness in a like simple example.
Mhm.
It builds
You
that
know,
relationship.
It really does. Yeah, it's the gateway. But I do think that would be kind of like a cool topic to talk on.
Yeah,
Just the
definitely,
customer. I mean, have you worked? You worked at
I've worked at
customer service
PetSmart, I've
job.
worked at Denny's, I've
Customer
worked at
service
yeah.
job.
I did Popeyes and
You did Popeyes?
Dude,
Yeah, I worked at Popeyes and the bank.
I worked at Burger King and
Do you guys like Burger King?
Dutch Bros.
I don't.
I love. I do. That's
Burger
my
King was
cheat meal
it-
lately.
Dude,
It's
I used to
a-
like the Whopper. Is that
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
it's
it's a
called?
Whopper.
But I can't do
That's
Burger
a
King.
guilty pleasure.
I
Every
don't-
once in a blue moon.
I don't remember the last time I had it.
Not
Yeah.
sponsored. No.
But yeah, I mean, that's a cool little topic to talk about. But I think the femininity,
Masculinity.
And masculinity.
femininity. That's a good one.
Display out with customer service.
yeah, would be a cool conversation for the next pod.
Well,
And
definitely.
it's only because my friend had reached out and DM'd us and was like, "Hey, you guys should really talk about this, especially in today's modern age, because talking about men." Back then and women back then versus what men are now,
Yeah.
women are now, and what we're expected to be, vice versa.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That could get so political real fast too.
Yeah, it can.
Well,
That's a wrap then.
That's a
right there.
wrap.
That's a wrap.
Yep. Any announcements?
Shirts have been ordered. We have financially invested finally into shirts. I said that completely wrong. But we have we put money towards shirts and they should be completion date scheduled for March 22nd. So that'll be right after episode 12. We'll probably mention it on episode 12. Episode 12 after episode 12 premieres, 3 of us will probably be in a vehicle going to go pick up the shirts that we put in an order.
man, we're gonna record a
Yeah.
podcast on the way there.
Yep.
We just said
Irresponsibly on the road with camera. Mount the camera outside the windshield. Have the mics inside.
I'm gonna be holding the
Ooh.
camera.
that. Dude,
I have
it'll be
suction
like
cups.
the James Corden like karaoke thing. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Heck yeah. No, it'll be sick. Yeah, super stoked for the merch. But
Yeah, shirts is the other announcement. Other than that, this is episode 10. That is 10 episodes later.
Episode 10.
Episode
We
10.
have
And that's a wrap.
10 episodes. Yeah.
Like, comment, share, subscribe.
Good night, guys.
And we're out.